cut the team high five out of that video. We had it earlier.
Your faith restored. You never really lost faith.
That's right. That's right.
A little bit.
Yeah, you weren't. You were a little shaky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
there was
injuries.
certainly some. What do you
come
want
up here
from him? He
now,
lost all
right,
these
with your
injuries,
chest
all
out.
this stuff.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Objectively correct.
Is this fair? Your faith in the Chargers was shaken. Your faith in Herbert was not.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I think that's what's
Yeah,
accurate.
if everybody on a team gets hurt,
You
the
go
quarterback
15-2
might
and make
play
the Super Bowl.
The quarterback might play a little worse, right?
A little worse.
He might play a little worse. And then now he's back. I heard Brew, you earlier said Joe Alt returned.
Yeah.
And they're 4-1, right? Or 4-0 with Alt.
4-1 when Alt's playing.
Yeah, exactly. But it goes deeper than that in terms of like, man, he was under pressure last night. And he was running around, making plays, but Alt was back. So he wasn't under the most pressure in the league. We can show you. Last night, Justin Herbert was pressured 38% of the time, which is above league average. So I just made it 40. I'm saying, can you keep Justin Herbert to only be pressured slightly above average? 4 out of 10 times he drops back. If you do, he is an MVP candidate, the column on the left, but when he lost both tackles and a guard and had another the third string tackle who was going in and out, it was the right-hand column, and they struggled. So all I'm asking for is below average offensive line play. Not the worst in the league, and he'll be fine.
That is so. I'm sorry. That's
do you mean?
so disingenuous.
What are you talking about? That is what happened.
Because you're not asking for below average offensive line play.
Slater's gone.
Last year, hold on a second.
Okay.
Last year, when it was Herbert and Harbaugh, it's a smarter offense. He had 3 picks all year, all of it.
Yeah.
He had all-pro left tackle, top 5 tackle. They made all this investment in the offensive line. And at no point was the argument, well, we need to temper the enthusiasm because he has the best offensive line situation imaginable.
Yeah.
Because they have made more of an investment there than anywhere. So now we cannot reverse engineer it to all we've ever asked for Justin Herbert is give him an average offensive line.
Wait a second, though, Nick. But now, this year, he leads the league in passing attempts and yards.
Yeah. I actually don't think that's good for him or the team. I don't think I think that leading the league in attempts which will then lead to leading the league in yards, is not their method of winning. One of the reasons they looked so good last night was because they had a competent running game for the first time in the last few weeks. Like, I'm not I think Herbert played really well yesterday. I think Herbert's a good to really good quarterback. I think calling him top 3 is bananas. Well, and it just feels to me like and this is my frustration with Herbert. With the Herbert conversation, not with the Herbert the guy. Yeah.
Your frustration with me.
But what you represent. Okay. When they are bad, it is always everyone else's fault. And when they are good, it's Justin Herbert did it. And that, to me, is not really the full story of how the Chargers have been built or their story of this season. And so, like, the whole Slater's out when all the preseason picks were made knowing Slater was out.
Right, but then Alt got hurt, but then the backup tackle Pipkins got hurt, and then Hampton got hurt. Like, everyone else around him kept going. I said when Slater was hurt, I said on the show, like, that's not enough to make excuses for him this year. But when the other tackle got hurt, and then the third string tackle got hurt, it became too much, and he was the most pressured quarterback in the league. We saw what happened to C.J. Stroud when he was the most pressured quarterback in the league. It plummeted. For Herbert, it dipped.
So where do you see him this?
Well,
what does faith
is
restored mean?
Well,
it means like, they're gonna fall to the Chiefs and make it interesting and lose.
Well, because Nick's not upset at me enough on a Friday. I just
don't.
I did it for you, buddy.
Don't.
No. Let's show it to him because we're back. We're back on pace.
We're not on pace.
We are.
I thought we got rid of this.
No. But I mean,
Will somebody burn that graphic? I mean, come on.
The touchdown interception ratio is basically the same.
It was a different
the
game.
Yards, completion percentage, still behind on the wins. But I have a question for you. What you saw last night with Alt back, with the running game, Hampton still coming back, the defense getting healthier, a blowout win over a Minnesota team. If we could show the Chargers schedule real quick.
Yeah.
You don't think this team can get to 12 wins?
No.
At 5-3?
No.
Titans, Steelers at home, Jaguars, Raiders, Cowboys, Texans, Broncos. That's 12.
It's on the board.
I'm not giving them a win over the Eagles, Chiefs, or Cowboys on the road.
Hold on. Right, but you're saying all of the 50-50 games they'll win. They are so you have them losing what? 2 more games? Just Chiefs Eagles to get to 12?
There you go.
So a 50-50 game against the Steelers, a 50-50 game against the Jags, a 50-50 game against the Cowboys, a 50-50 game against the Broncos. They're not sweeping. Look, the flip side of that is this is what they've already done. What they've already done is they lost a 50-50 game to Washington. They lost a 50-50 game to the Colts. They won a 50-50 game against the Broncos. No, I don't think they're going. You think they can win 12 games?
I think they can win 12 games. Absolutely.
Well, okay. Look, I mean, that's stunning.
I don't think you're crazy because I like the Chargers too. I think you're going a little overboard on the Herbert-Payton comparisons, but I like the Chargers, and I do think with all that they are a very good team. And Herbert is, he's starting to throw, like he threw an interception last night. We talked about it earlier. He was fortunate on that early when it looked like it was an interception to me. Yeah, exactly. So I think they are back. Not quite as good as I thought they were when they beat the Chiefs, and the second win looked great over the Raiders. So I think they're going to make the playoffs. Nick doesn't agree with that. I do think they're. Well, I'm locking them in.
Right, you're locking them in for the playoffs. I'm not locking them out.
I'm not locking them in as a team that can get to the Super Bowl. I don't think they can get to the Super Bowl yet.
I mean, 12 wins will probably win them the division.
Yeah, because the 12 is the ceiling. 10 to 12 wins, but they can get to 12.
12 because the Chiefs would have to only lose 1 game the rest of the way to get to 13, and I don't think the Chiefs will win the tiebreaker with the. No, I'm saying if the Chiefs finish with the same record as the Chargers will likely win the division, because the Chargers, the best Chiefs can do is split with them and in the divisional record. I think that we are going to see the Chargers fighting for 9-10 wins, and at the end of the. Yeah, I mean, I think the Chargers are going to be who they have been every year of Justin Herbert's career. Man, that team sure does seem unlucky, and we know whose fault it isn't, and and I've seen nothing this year that dissuades me from that. We are not far removed from it looking like the Chargers were about to lose to the Miami Dolphins, and blaming that on not having Joe Alt is, to me, it's crazy. It's crazy.
The defense is getting healthy. I mean, you got Khalil Mack back.
Joe Alt just might be the Chargers MVP. I might be a Joe Alt guy.
Really?
The numbers are amazing, so maybe it is Joe Alt. All right, it's time now for one of the most accurate segments in all of sports. It's Parkins Picks. Take a listen.
I am seeing the NFL very clearly. This is the official pick segment. I plug into the matrix. I see the league clearly. I'm not going to let 3-0 change me. I'm not scared of picking big games. Taking the points with Detroit. Play in the wood with the Chicago Bears. Easy, easier, and easiest. I know that I'm right.
Perfect week. Congratulations yet again.
Thank you. This is my recap. Well, there we go. 3-0.
Wow.
It was easy. I mean, I can't.
You are seeing the league clearly.
Thank you, Brew, for noticing. Nick, I can't even decide which one of those was the easiest. Like, there was no sweat anywhere on the board.
He bet against the worst teams in the league.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. We saw how it worked out for him. I mean, man, 12-9, seeing the league clearly, getting that percentage.
What are you seeing this week? It's so clearly.
That's a good question. I'm glad you asked me and not the guy who went 1-2 last week. Big yikes, this guy to my left. Well, let's go to week 8, please. I, too, am taking the Dallas Cowboys with the points plus 3.5. And I really don't like, because I watch your show, that Nick is on the same side of this one. But here's the thing. Everyone talks about the Broncos defense, and it is good on paper, but they're really good against really bad teams. They destroy the Titans, Bengals, and Jets, hold them to under 9 points per game and 0 touchdowns allowed. When they played the Colts, Chargers, Eagles, and Giants, 11 touchdowns, 25 points per game. I think the Cowboys' offense is obviously much more in line with the Colts, Chargers, Eagles, and Giants. Dallas will put up points. They will have a shot to win outright, certainly cover the 3.5. The next
Good
one.
pick.
Oh.
I like that pick.
Oh, you like that
It's a
pick?
good pick.
Here you go, buddy. Hold this.
Gosh darn it.
Falcons
We got the
minus
same
7.5 against the Dolphins. This was locked in before I saw your segment. Christina can attest. Here's the thing. We should be talking about this guy more. Bijan Robinson. He's on pace to shatter the yards from scrimmage record this year, passing Chris Johnson, Marshall Faulk, and Christian McCaffrey. Nearly 2,600 yards from scrimmage is what he's pacing for. He is a running back. Seems like it would be a good opportunity to go up against the worst run defense in the NFL, which is the Miami Dolphins. Algier gets into the end zone. Bijan gets into the end zone. The Falcons are a top 10 team in yardage, but a bottom 10 team in scoring. They just haven't gotten it done in the red zone this year. That changes this week against the Miami Dolphins. And last but not least, we've been talking about it all week. Bears plus 6.5 in Baltimore. Now, I could talk about the Bears' running game out of the bye, which has been much better. I could talk about the Bears' run defense out of the bye, which has been much better. But the Ravens have a bottom 3 defense in the NFL. The last time Caleb Williams played a bottom 3 defense in the NFL, it wasn't so bad. 4 touchdowns, no picks, 300 yards, 10.5 yards per attempt. If you get the running game going, the run defense going, didn't love the Bears injury report today with Kyler Gordon and Tyreek Stevenson both out in the secondary. Lamar should cook. I do like the over at 49.5. But Bears plus 6.5 is the winner. That's 3-0. That moves me to 15-9 on the season. We're back approaching 65% after this week. You all know it's correct.
I hate that I agree with all these picks.
I hate that you agree with
They
all
are.
of these picks.
What?
No, they're good. I like them as well.
Oh, wow. The only person who I assume would disagree. I have to. Wilds, if you don't mind, I've been watching the show.
Sure.
All
What's
week.
happening?
Well, those are the picks.
Yeah.
Brew, you wouldn't guarantee the Ravens' victory.
Right.
You put the Ravens on the bud list.
Yeah.
And you talk about how the season isn't over for Baltimore.
Right.
If they lose to the Bears, I don't know, buddy. Sounds like you might be scared of the Bears.
Oh,
a lot of your rationale is Baltimore based. I think you might be a little scared of the Bears.
Scared?
Scared of the Bears.
Of the Bears?
That's the allegation,
It
sir.
does, Wilds, does it feel
You fast
a
forward,
little
like,
bit?
Look, if they lose, like you've spent a decent amount of time on the show talking about if they lose, look, 1-6. Remember, I read the graphic. They're like, oh, there was still 28% chance. You have a point.
You've noticed that, right?
I am not in any way, shape, or form afraid of the middling Chicago Bears.
4-game win streak.
And for the time being, their middling quarterback, Caleb Williams. I am a tad bit concerned about the Ravens' defense. But
Getting
I would
exposed
be
by-
concerned. Ain't no exposing. We know what they are. I would be concerned if they were playing the bad news Bears, let alone the Chicago Bears, because the defense has had one decent game, one decent showing. I'm hopeful that defense will continue to play well as that did against the Rams. But no, it has nothing to do with the Chicago Bears. Because you talked about, that revamped run defense. Is it really revamped? Because it's still 25th in the league
Grady Jarrett
defensively, and I think 28th against the run. They still give up nearly 5.5 yards per rushing attempt. And guess who the Ravens have in the backfield? Guy named Derrick Henry.
Do they?
All right. Yeah.
That's
especially when you got to worry about Lamar Jackson taking off.
So that to me is kind of the under-discussed, one of the more under-discussed stories, not about this week, but thus far this season, is this year, how good is Derrick Henry? because
he's got 2 games over 100 yards.
Yeah, so he was unbelievable in week 1, right?
Unbelievable.
And we've had a lot of discussions about Saquon's drop-off, and we've had a lot of discussion with the Ravens about Lamar's injury, about ping pong, and about their defense.
Yeah.
There have been fewer discussions about the fact that when Lamar got hurt, we weren't initially, I at least wasn't, Brew. In fact, I know I wasn't because one of my losing picks was I picked Baltimore plus the points against Houston, the game they got blown out, with the thought process being, coaching, we all discussed, going to give Derrick Henry the ball 35 times. You know what I mean? It's going to be an old Tennessee Titans style.
One of the best defenses in the league.
100%. But is
What
it
do you do the next
not
week?
at all a little concerning that Derrick has, similar to Saquon, had a drop-off from last year? Not as substantial as Saquon's, but Derrick was 1,900 yards last year. And it, to me, post-week 1, has not looked like that guy.
I don't think he's what he was last year, but I think he's got plenty left. Like you said, he was phenomenal against Buffalo. Last or 2 weeks ago, what he went for 120-something. And, again, bring Lamar. Like, his last year in Tennessee wasn't, like, something you predict he was going to go for 1,900 plus. But when you have Lamar there and teams have to worry about him, now all of a sudden everything else is opened up for Derrick. So, yeah, I think the offense, Danny, the Ravens offense is going to cook. And I think they're going to win. I expect them to win. But the defense, we got to see because they've only played 1 decent game all year. But no, scared.
A little.
No.
Again,
it has nothing to do with the Bears. The Bears are the perfect opponent for this week.
Why?
Perfect.
Because they're
good,
a decent team, where if you win, you feel like,
good.
okay, it's a but they're not too good where it's like, okay, we got another, juggernaut that we got to beat. And they're not too bad where it's like, okay, we beat the Browns.
Yeah.
We beat the Saints or whatever. So this will be a good win.
I think this could be a Ben Johnson in his bag game. I think Ben Johnson has just been scouring film of this Ravens porous defense.
The defense concerns.
Old Ben Johnson is back. He might have a little something special.
Offensive lineman touchdown week?
Ooh.
I like that. Hasn't happened yet.
Do the Bears?
We're not going 0 for 17.
Hold on.
No chance.
Can I ask a question?
Chance.
If this gets ugly in the other direction, which I don't think anyone's predicting, meaning the Bears are up, they're up 10 in the fourth quarter and score a touchdown. Is there a chance they have a celebration of pretend ping pong?
Little table tennis.
Little ping pong.
Your boy shouldn't have done that. Trust.
Little poke into the Bear situation, you
Do you
think?
think that was a
boy
coincidence or no? Do we have that video?
I do not think it was
You don't?
coincidence. No.
No, it wasn't a coincidence.
No, I don't
That's
think it was coincidence.
either unwise or
Awesome.
Hilarious.
It's either one of the two.
Y'all see that,
I don't
Ravens?
think they look at the Ravens. Brew said, and
They
I know we
don't,
have to go.
unfortunately.
Brew said that the Bears are middling. I think the Bears look at the Ravens as you'd kill to be middling. You strive for middling, and I just don't think they're scared of that team right now.
if I disagree with kind of the silliness of taking all the stuff out of the building, Papa shot. You can't concentrate if there's a Papa shot.
That's true.
Papa shot is
true.
Papa shot is fantastic.
Let's talk a little baseball before the World Series tonight. Really, we just have to get on the record. We got a Cubs fan, Willie Colon, a Yankees fan, Greg Jennings, a Tigers fan. Blue Jays can win their first World Series since '93. Dodgers trying to go back-to-back. Coverage, of course, begins in just a little bit here on Fox. I think the Dodgers are overwhelming. I think they are an overwhelming team. So I know people, their bullpen isn't great. It's still fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. And I think they hit their floor for wins this year in the regular season, and then they've been peaking in the postseason. So I got the Dodgers winning this series. What about you?
Yeah, I'm with you. Look, the Blue Jays have been amazing. It would be a fun story, but I actually like the best player in the game actually being the best player in the biggest moments. And so with Shohei, with the Dodgers,
Tough to pick against?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm exhausted. Being a Yankee fan,
course
watching
you
the
are.
Dodgers back in the World Series,
You
it's a
can't
lot
do
for
it.
me. Ohtani's a demigod. For me, it's Freddie Freeman. He's the boogeyman. I know he's going back to Canada, where he's from. He's batting in the 3-hole right behind Ohtani and Betts, so prime real estate. I just don't want to see the Dodgers win, but I will pick the Dodgers to win.
So it's a clean sweep from us for the Dodgers. So congratulations to the Blue Jays on their upcoming World Series victory. I get it, man. They're really good. To the NFL, all eyes on Aaron and the Packers. Fun storylines galore. Packers-Steelers Sunday night. Aaron yesterday said it's not a revenge game for him. No animosity against his old franchise. Micah Parsons is now with Green Bay, was asked what it's going to be like to face Aaron Rodgers. So I think we're in an interesting spot here. Because the question is going to be, is Aaron going to go off? Is he going to have a big game against the Packers? And not to give away anyone's answer, but we've talked about this game all week.
Yeah.
I feel like we all like where Aaron is at and where the Steelers are at. Like, quickly, yes? Offensively?
Yeah.
Give me a little more sugar on that.
I am impressed with the formula that, like, he's not getting hit.
Correct.
He's not getting sacked.
Okay.
He's getting the ball out, and they're moving it. It's not the most explosive offense in the NFL, but it actually does seem like, is Aaron going to survive the year? Yeah. And then the defense can round into form and start playing up to their potential. Like, I expect Rodgers to have a good game Sunday.
I do expect him to ball out. I also solely believe that he came back and didn't and pushed retirement off the table solely because he knew he was going to play the Green Bay Packers. And before he walked out of this door, he said, I want one more shot at them.
Wow.
And so this is his opportunity. You talked about it yesterday. If there's a game that Aaron Rodgers circled, it was this one.
Yep.
And so for the guys in the locker room, they know what this means to Aaron, and they also know what this means from them after blowing it against the Bengals because they know they need this momentum to go into the Colts game because the Colts are red hot. So if you're the Steelers right now and if you're Aaron Rodgers, you need this game, and he needs to play big because there was so much talk about what he can no longer do. And after a couple weeks, we see he's still him.
So for me, I don't think he came back for the reasons you believe. I think he saw a situation where he could be good, didn't have to carry the load. That's exactly what he's been asked to do. Get the ball out of his hands. He knows where he is in his career. He's realistic with that, but he can still throw it and be as sharp and as accurate as anybody in the game. That's why I believe that he's going to have a good game. When you play against a team that you have pledged your loyalty to pretty much your entire career, he talks about it. It's been a love affair. It's been a love fest all week. He's talked glowingly about them. However, when I go to work, I'm trying to figure out every way I can puncture them and then wound them. By the end of the game, I have the upper hand so that I can then put the dagger in them. Like, that's Aaron Rodgers. Like, the competitor of who he is going to come out. It's going to be on full display.
Is he the most competitive person you ever played with? He's got to be on the short list.
He's definitely on the short list. I could name a couple other more competitive players, myself being one of them.
Okay, fair enough.
But I didn't play with myself. But to focus on this, like, what he's being asked to do in Pittsburgh is not shoulder the load. It's like, okay, be what we need you to be, but lean on these guys. Trust these guys. Trust the fact that if we get the ball out of your hands and you get it into DK's hand, he can make the place bigger than what we started it off to be. And that's what's been interesting and intriguing about this offense, because they don't throw the ball down the field and just explosive play you all day, all game long, but they do dink and dunk, and it can frustrate pass rushes like Micah Parsons in that Green Bay.
But to your point, that's what they're going to have to do to beat the Packers. They got to stay out of second and long and third and long, because that's if you get into that position, that's when the Packers become the hunt. I think for Aaron Rodgers, what I've been most impressed about is his usage of the tight ends, Jonnu and Fairmouth, and how he's able to eat up the middle of the field. I like where the Steelers at from which, as you explained it. My biggest concern with Aaron Rodgers right now is I want to see him not feel like he has to put on the cape solely because he's playing the Packers. Like, just finish the game. Keep it tight. I'm okay with having a boxing mentality. Jab, 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 haymaker, win the ball game.
Well, the thing is, if the Steelers were getting out of their defense what they are paying for from their defense, this would be more than enough offensively for us to look at them as a real contender. Like, you got Mike Tomlin as the coach. You spend more money on the defensive side of the ball than anyone. We can all rattle off the name. Hayward and Porter and Watt. Like, we can keep going on and on. Everybody can name the names of the Steelers' defensive players, and it's like, they got lit up by the Jets.
Yeah.
Flacco put a big number on them. Like, you know, like if the Steelers defense woke up and was the Steelers defense, and then Rodgers just stayed the exact same, we'd believe in it. But I will say this too: whoever wins this game Monday morning, we're going to view it as a very impressive win. Like, either side of it, Green Bay or Pittsburgh, we're going to be like, wow, okay, that's a early season signature win for that team that we'll be referencing a month from now, 2 months from now.
Yeah, but I think this is a must-win from the standpoint I stated earlier. You don't want to go against the Colts down 2. You know what I mean? Like, you want the momentum because of how hot they're playing. So, for me, I think the Packers will be fine. They'll be fine if they happen to lose to the Steelers. I think that Pittsburgh's in trouble if they lose to the Packers.
Yeah, Packers, the 1 seed right now at 4-1-1 in the NFC. Meanwhile, Josh Allen and the Bills face the Panthers coming off a bye. And, oh my Josh! Hashtag Christina. Bills lost 2 in a row heading into the bye. Allen never lost 3 in a row in his career. Kind of amazing. He was asked about his expectation on the Bills responding off the loss. So I'm expecting a statement game from Josh Allen. Like I'm expecting the Bills against Carolina to look like the Eagles did against Minnesota. Whereas like Jalen Hurts had a perfect passer rating. And it was like they had lost 2 games in a row, and it was, are they gonna 2023 Eagles it or 2024 and just bounce back and they bounced back.
Yeah.
I think this was, the turnovers were weird, the back-to-back losses were weird. Like, their defense has problems, no question about it. But like on the offensive side of the ball, coming out of a bye, a quarterback who has never once lost out of a bye, I expect Josh Allen to put on a show against Carolina.
So I think they're going to be ready to play. I just strangely like this Carolina defense in the spot that they're in because they're protected by how they run the ball offensively. And when you run the ball against this team, the Buffalo Bills, they can't stop the run. The numbers suggest that. And so, like, Josh Allen has always been the reason why this team has been great, the reason why we see this team great. But defensively, they've been better than this. And if this is what continues to show up, well, if you're an offense that can't really pass in the Carolina Panthers, well, shoot, I want to play this team. I want to be who we are, the brand of football that we play, which is run the ball, and particularly at home where we're undefeated, where we rush the ball better than anybody in the National Football League. So that's what you have to be up against. It's not just about Josh Allen being a superhero, because we've seen that we've seen him put on this act often. And this is why he's the reigning MVP. This year has been a little different because the weapons just haven't shown up in the way that we saw them show up last year. And I know Kincaid and I'm drawing a blank on their other tight end with the Bills. They've been good, but outside of that, not even Shakir. Shakir hasn't even been what he's been in the passing game. So I don't know if Josh Allen can even have that type of game that Jalen Hurts had because he doesn't have those type of weapons.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, DP. You know, Josh Allen reminds me of my phone, like my phone when it's on 100%. It's brighter, faster, and ready to go. You know, so I like your standpoint because it's like, hey, you need this game because you're the Bills. We have you already seated at the table. I want this game to be over by halftime because you're Josh Allen. Like, I don't want this to be any level of competition.
Like they did with the Dolphins.
Sure.
Oh, I'm sorry, like they did with the Saints. Oh, I'm sorry, like they, yeah.
But my point is,
it's been ugly.
But so that you lead into my point. If we believe they are them, this game shouldn't be close. Because if this is a dogfight for the Bills, I'm starting to question who Josh Allen is and what this team is this year.
Well, that's the thing. If Greg is right, like if your upset alert pick is right, and out of a bye, it's McDermott's first ever loss out of a bye, it's Allen's first ever loss out of a bye, it's Allen's first time ever losing 3 games in a row, and they lose as a 7-point favorite in Carolina,
it's a problem.
We're going to be like, ooh, the Patriots going to win this division?
Right.
Like fighting for a wild card at best in Buffalo? Like it will be the biggest story in the NFL.
Yeah, which
on
I think
Monday.
will be, it's not the end of the world. Like I have this team representing the AFC in the Super Bowl.
But you can't think that if they lose to Carolina. Because Josh Allen's greatest trait is tempo and him playing physical.
So this is where I differ, because I don't care who you are. No one looks at your resume of how'd you get here and see who you lost to or who you won against. No, they only care that you got there. And so if they do lose this game, yes, it will sting in this moment, but there's a whole course of the season left. And one last thing, when you have the Chiefs, like, to follow this game, it is hard not to peek around that corner and say, hey, guys, you know who we got the following week, and look ahead. It's a thing.
You also don't want to be down 3 going against the Chiefs.
Yeah, that feels like
that feels different.
Yeah, but listen, if they look ahead past Carolina and lose out of the bye, I'm not going to be picking them to beat the Chiefs.
Right, 100%.
I'll tell you that.
I'm with you.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.